how to film commercial without any budget.
Or crew.
Hi everyone, I'm Anastasia, co-founder of Ceylon Video Production, fashion cinematographer, and my photography published in Fashion Magazine.
Hey guys, I'm Leon and I'm a director, cinematographer and also writer and colorist, editor, bit of everything. So let's go.
Leon, please introduce the idea. You didn't have budget. You had to film commercial for big company. 2 minutes commercial, it's like pretty big video, so not 30 seconds, it's like epic. That's right. Also, in your idea was to use kids to make it more emotional, and you had to hire truck. And I think hiring truck, it was the only expense we had. Why someone would film something without budget, especially commercial?
As an overview, like most filmmakers, cinematographers, directors, I'm constantly trying to grow and push into new areas and really push myself and learn new things and techniques. So when the company came to me with the idea to re-edit a 5-year-old commercial and just use some like still images of the new generation product and do some creative editing to put it in, I said, well, hang on a minute, let's do it properly. Let's go and shoot a whole new commercial for it, and we can do something amazing just with basic resources. And it definitely wasn't like a $50,000, $100,000 budget with gaffers and assistant focus pullers and camera assistants and producers and things like that. It was all basically just me, but I saw it as a great opportunity to take what was there and what they wanted, and also combine it with my desire to kind of keep developing, keep pushing, get into high-end, corporate video and commercial, which is kind of my goal at the moment. So I kind of looked at the idea, and not only I felt like it could have been lit better and more realistic and, have more kind of cinematic, shot in a more cinematic way. I thought that we could also add in some more emotional elements so that the story actually resonates more with the audience. And
That's right.
so to me, that's like one of the key elements of commercials. The general premise of a commercial is, here's a problem, we've got a solution to the problem in its basic form. And it's really great and it solves all your problems. Here it is, here's the product or service. So whilst that was there, like I said, it just wasn't really didn't have a lot of impacts visually, and there was just really zero emotion. And so I just took that, and I guess one of my areas that I like to focus on is emotion and drama. And it just really raises the stakes, and it helps the audience to connect to the piece and maybe feel some sort of, identify with the character.
Yeah, and I know you have, this is your expertise, how to actually make any film, any commercial more emotional. Yeah, it's some tricks. I don't know if you want to share these tricks, or it's gonna be just your, your things you want to keep with yourself, or...
Look, just on a basic level, it's just really the audience should be able to identify with the character, and if it's a universal sort of thing that, like in this case, it was a guy wanting to be able to live and not have a crash and die and get home to see his family and young daughter, and that's very universal. It's not like a esoteric thing, a very unique thing to some people. Like I think everybody on the planet can identify with that. So and I think that helps.
As I understand, in my social media language, it means you just created created content for wider audience, so much more people can identify, can relate to this video.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And if you can, those two things, like if you can have something that people can identify with, it's a universal thing, and then you mix it with emotion, and you try and have a really dramatic and cinematic piece, then I think you're off to a good start.
just to clarify, please, for people, what you already had and what you had to like hire or get extra.
Okay. Yeah, so the original commercial was kind of a guy in a dark studio space, and he kind of had like a fake steering wheel, and I just thought, to me, I immediately wasn't realistic, and I wanted to make it a lot more realistic, and just like, okay, let's hire a truck. Like for a couple $100 we can get a real truck and, you know, light it properly and, you know, simulate movement and driving and things like that. So, yeah, as you said, I had a lot of lights, and I had, you know, a lot of cameras, Blackmagic 6K, 4K, Sony FX3, a whole bunch of lenses.
So it means you had not just not something extra expensive, extra fancy cameras. Actually, the Blackmagic, probably most of the people will have Blackmagic 4K or 6K, and it's good value for good money, yeah, and very like accessible cameras.
So yeah, just to follow up on that point, it's, yeah, they are amazing cameras, can give you incredible image quality and recording in RAW, and, you know, plays nice with DaVinci Resolve, which is obviously what we focus on and we use for editing and color grading and everything.
And again, good picture, high quality content. It's not just about fancy gear, yeah? It's about how you use it.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, I guess my goal was to really light this truck using, you know, making it look like it was driving on the streets at night, and had some like cabin lights and other lights flashing on and off, like red tail lights, and driving under the yellow sodium vapor lights, and just to add a lot of interest and color and kind of yeah, make it a lot more visually interesting, which would, you know, layer on top of the performance and all that sort of stuff. And as I said, had a lot of lights, but also wanted some specific lights, so used the Nan light. I can't remember the model, but so it was a Nan light that had the, I was looking for the pixel technology.
Yeah, it was pixel control, definitely, yeah.
But the feature I was kind of wanted was like this like a pixel effect that goes through constantly through the tube light, but it wasn't actually providing that. It was kind of a kind of flash on, flash off. But that was fine because, you know, the idea was to be driving under sodium vapor light, say every 20, 30 meters as he was driving along the freeway. So we set that up, and that was flashing on and off, and then also had a small Nan light acting as the light coming from the dashboard, bouncing back into his face. And then some other lights on the side, more Nan lights, and Aperture MC providing a bit of a red tail light flashing on and off. And together it provided like a nice color contrast and interesting visual image. And yeah, so that was the lighting. In terms of the lens package, I used my vintage Leica R lenses, which are lenses from the 70s, which are modified still lenses for cine use, and they provide a really beautiful kind of softer look, more softer than modern ultra sharp lenses, and when they combine with a digital sensor, it just helps to take that edge off. You know, some people use softening filters in front of modern lenses to sort of soften it a bit, but these kind of do it just within their own, within the lens, and it has a lot of character and flare easily, and yeah, just a really nice look. So
I know a lot of people will tell us, you told us it's without budget, but not everyone have vintage Leica lenses at home.
yeah. Well, yeah, I've been collecting them for, you know, 10, 15 years, and
investing in nice vintage lenses.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Someone said to me many years ago, invest in lenses because, you know, cameras will come and go. And I think this was even before the current craze of, you know, new camera every 2 weeks. But I'm glad I did do that. It was still, you know, a little pricey but I see it as an investment, and I use those for specific projects when I want more of a cinematic look, and I'm doing manual focus and things like that. So
Another question, crew. Yeah, you didn't spend any money on crew. Where did you find an actor? Where did you find people who will actually help you? How many people did you find?
So it was basically, I was the director, cinematographer, gaffer, best boy, kind of all of that. Setting up the lights, setting up the cameras, setting focus, and just basically running around constantly throughout the night, and setting things up. And the crew consisted of basically me, the actor, who was a friend who luckily said yes to being in it, and then I had one other friend who was working as the truck movement supervisor.
So we didn't use any fancy equipment to fake it. It was just actual person was shaking the truck.
So yeah, you need those little extra things to help sell it, because if you have all the lights and everything and someone's just driving, it's still not quite right. So yeah, and then you need to fine tune it as well. So it's not too shaky, it's not full driving over a rocky terrain, and it's not super, straight, super smooth. It's somewhere in between.
Was it possible to actually fake this movement in the post-production later, or it's easier just like use your friend to shake the truck for 5-6 hours?
Yeah, so there are tools to do things like that, and I did do that to enhance some shots. And a couple of shots when the truck shaking guy went home. Shout out to Fernando. But it's not quite the same, because if you're actually physically shaking the truck, the actor's moving around at the same kind of with the truck, and really helps to sell it a lot more. The Resolve has a good shake thing. It can look pretty decent for kind of a handheld, but it's more of a handheld look, I guess. It's not going to show, it's not going to really make you feel like the truck was shaking. Yeah.
That's what actually I like about you, to work with you. You go really deeply into these details. Like, yeah, you could do it in post-production, shaking the truck in post-production, but it's much more natural. You thought about actually body movements. That was, wow, impressive.
And yeah, part of my learning came from these courses I watch, which is Shane Hurlbert's Filmmakers Academy, where he shares a lot of knowledge on lighting, and he had like a specific shooting a car commercial using what they call poor man's process, where the car doesn't actually move and you're just shaking it and setting up your lighting, and a lot of different gags to make it look like you're driving.
Yeah.
I guess one thing to mention is we actually crashed the truck as we were maneuvering it around. I say we, it was me. So that was a bit frustrating. It's a huge wide truck, and kind of, I thought instead of just doing a 3-point turn, I thought I'll drive down the street and come back and do it properly and safely, and actually just totally forgot that the mirrors stick out like, a good 1.5 foot, and just clipped a truck and clipped another car. So yeah, we had to kind of talk to those guys and get insurance details. But these things happen, and that's why, it's always important to, do things safely and plan and prepare and, get the full insurance just in case, especially if there's someone's covering that, which I should say was part of the budget, the truck and the actor's fee, and, some like food for the crew and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just going to maybe touch on like pre-production and planning, because it's one of those super critical things that if I like to improvise and get ideas on the day, try different things, but the more of a plan you can sort of have in your head beforehand, the better the result will be. And so for me, I try to like almost shoot the commercial in my head, draw a storyboard so I know exactly which shots I need, and kind of rough idea of the timing, and try to group those shots together as well so that you're not sort of doubling back, you know, set up here for this shot, this angle, and then go set up for that angle, and then come back, like, you know, just for efficiency, shoot them all together. And this is what, you know, most films do. And yeah, so I really spent a lot of time developing the storyboards and thinking about the lighting and the look and the way it was going to be edited, and kind of altogether how it was going to work. And this, yeah, like I said, this is, even if you don't use it and you just completely improvise on the day, one of the benefits is if you're in a rush and you're running out of time, which, like, when you're basically doing every role is easy to happen, you've got that to refer to. So it's like, okay, wow, what are we supposed to do now? I forgot. Okay, it's all right. I just go back to my plan, and I've got that to refer to. And, you know, I didn't make this up. This is another piece of advice that I heard along the way, but I think it's very important because the amount of work you do in pre-production really changes the quality. If you just turn up on the day and go, it should be easy, I just need, you know, it's one actor, basically, you know, one angle or a couple of angles, I'll work it out, then that'll show in the final product. And you know, you really got to put that work in beforehand, and it makes you a less stressful shoot.
That's right. Look, I learned this from you. You taught me this, and one of the latest project was filming in W Hotel for Melbourne Fashion Week with one of the founder of fashion magazine and stylist. I did have a plan. It was a huge day. We had to film a lot of things: interview, BTS, like preparation, actual runway, and some interviews with like street style interviews with people. So I did have this plan. What do I need? And even what kind of shots do I need for behind the scenes shots? And I remember we were running out of time, like very quick, because working with creative people, it's always delays. Makeup takes longer than expected, something else and something else and something else. And because I had this strict plan, and maybe I didn't film extra or I didn't take extra shots, would be nice to take, but I filmed exactly what I need. And I remember you actually came up on the shoot for a couple of hours to help me. We finished just like 5 minutes before bar will be open. We had 5 minutes to pack up all of our equipment. So it is actually, this is the biggest probably skill I had to learn, and I'm still learning, but yeah, that's very important.
Yeah, time management and planning and expecting that things will take a long time, because I think that's the other misconception. It's like, we just got to shoot this. It should be 30 minutes, whatever, but it takes time to set up and to get things working. If you're waiting on other people, it's even worse. And you just need to really allow a lot of time. And I think at the day we called down for the trolley to take the equipment down, and a few minutes went by and I was like, we just need to go, because if we wait for that, we're going to lose half our shoot time. And I think it ended up coming quite late. So luckily we just went off and set up, and it does take time to set up the lights and perfect the shot. And
Let's talk about post-production. What apps did you use? We biggest fans of DaVinci Resolve. Yeah, just if you want to create something really cool and to be able to do really professional collaborating, go to DaVinci Resolve. It's just no way to avoid it.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of DaVinci Resolve, and not only because I work for Blackmagic Design, but also because it just integrates really well with the Blackmagic cameras. Yeah. It's really professional, high-end, so many features. You can, do all your high-end audio work, visual effects work, color grading, obviously, which is one of the main things it's known for. But as an editor as well, it's super capable and integrates some of these other features into the edit page now as well. So, yeah.
They don't pay us, guys. They still don't pay us for advertising, but we always advertise Blackmagic cameras and DaVinci Resolve, but one day.
Well, the other thing is, one piece of advice I'd give to anyone emerging, it's like, if you want to get into the industry, you know, you don't need to shell out thousands of dollars for Premiere Pro subscription, Adobe Creative Cloud. You can just get the free version of Resolve. It does a hell of a lot for free, and it's only when you need the advanced features that you need to upgrade to the studio license. And yeah, combine that with the fact you can just shoot a lot of things on your phone now and get, you know, some half decent results. That's what I'd recommend to a lot of people. Just get out there, take whatever camera you've got, or if it's your phone or whatever, and then get the free version of Resolve and just put it together and, you know, edit it together, color grade, put some visual effects, music, sound effects, and, you know, create something. And the next time will be better. And just keep working and keep iterating and just keep pushing. That's what I think a lot of people need to hear. We're in a world where, you know, there's new cameras and new software coming out all the time. It's like, we don't really need it. Yes, we're all gear obsessed, and but you don't really need it.
Yeah, look, latest equipment, of course, will level up your production, but if you don't know how to use it, I saw a lot of people who use Burana camera, but they don't know how to set it up correctly, so it will never help you. So, and you can film good shots with any camera. Some cameras can be limiting. Always invest your time and money into learning, into developing your cinematography skills.
Professional development. I believe I'll never stop learning, and I'm always keen to keep pushing the boundaries and learning new technology in new areas. And so I just recently finished a virtual production course at University of Melbourne, working on the LED volume, and pushing into that. And that's why we've got the blue screen, is, you know, taking some of that knowledge and integrating it with, you know, some of the apps you can get now to do in-camera live compositing, and really pushing the boundaries and exploring that. So watch this space.